Zach with Web3 Reviews. Thank you for being with us. Hey, so I got a sore throat today. I recorded this video for you last Friday. I meant to get it out on the weekend. I decided I was going to upload some clips of some things I did on the weekend over myself talking. Check it out or don't. Let's see what it is.
Remember that none of this is financial advice.
As soon as you look back in your history and you come up with something that you feel like you want to change, something else has to change. So
what about your biggest disappointment?
once again, that's the same analogy. Disappointment to me, to win, you got to lose. To be successful, you got to have something that's not successful. To be happy, you got to have disappointment. I think all of those things have evolved and happened to make me who I am.
So yesterday, when I was talking to the Void, 6 a.m. Crypto Rants, I made a joke to myself about the Green Candle Boys, which just sounded cool, but it was kind of and at the time, it was just something I was just bullshitting about. I was talking about Gucci Mane, I was talking about Brick Squad Monopoly, and the Marble Squad Boys. And it just sounded something like that needed to be done. I've had so many ideas for NFT collections that I've just let fall by the wayside. First, because I'm usually incapable of producing the art that I'd like it to be done in the style of. And second, because I would tell people about it and I would be told it was a shit idea. And if you listen to people, you probably wouldn't do anything. So you got to listen to yourself. And I decided it would be right for me to make this. I put it up for 12 bucks and I learned something in the process of making it. I thought I was going to be able to print whatever number of this I wanted to, but that's not the case by any means. On XRP Cafe, I was able to print one of them. I made the price 5 XRP. I thought it was fine. If you guys think I should lower it, I'll lower it if I can. 5 XRP, that's not bad. Green Candle Boys, okay? There's going to be more of these if I can get the art looking good. I've hit up a few friends in the community to see if they can't help me out. Blockbones guys from the Flare community. We'll see what can be done. I have some family members who are lawyers and they're paid pessimists. And I think this drove me to the other side where I just feel like an optimist. I'm a perma bull, and hopium drove me in this crypto market for so long. I worked these dead end jobs and I would work multiple of them at a time just so I could keep the lights on, but also so I could invest. If I had one job that was enough to pay the bills, then I definitely worked a second job so I had money to invest. Money for stuff on the side too, go have fun with your friends. And I went to college and I got a degree and it led to, now I have a better job where I'm not working 2 jobs at once, but I also have kids. If I didn't have kids, I probably would be working 2 jobs right now. And yeah, maybe crypto's a job. I've turned crypto into a job after 7 years. I run some nodes. I sit here and talk to you guys and I'm not monetized, but I'm out here. I'm treating this like a job. I'm out here 5 days a week now, okay? It's the start of something new. Second week of going 5 days a week. I was part-time for the last year and the channel did pretty good. But what I'm getting at is that the Green Candle Boys is a group of optimists about crypto. To be in the club, just by being here, you're in the club, okay? You're here listening to this madman speak. When I first met my wife, she asked me if I had any nicknames and I told her like a list of bullshit, Yeah, I guess I'm somebody who believes my own bullshit, man. And that's why I want to come here and say to you guys today, I'm really optimistic about things. Maybe to a fault, but in crypto, you could hit really hard. You could also lose a bunch of money. It's important to keep these things in mind, all right? When I look at projects, I look at a few things. Who's the team? Is it a real person backing the team or is it an invisible man? Now, invisible people are real. Look at Bitcoin, right? But it's riskier when you get a small project that was built by somebody who you can't verify. And I think that's fair to say. It's easier when you're involved in a project like ALGO or XRP, where you know the team behind it, you know the partners that are working with it, you can see a giant use case in the way that they're working to get there. I call those projects blue chips. Now, in the world of college basketball, if you were to say at the beginning of a season, who's going to make it to the NCAA tournament at the end of the year, you could easily pick out a team like Kentucky or North Carolina or Duke to make the tournament. Those are blue chips, okay? It's like saying the Yankees are going to be good in baseball or the Lakers are going to be good in the NBA. It's just something you could throw as a shoe-in. Yeah, they're going to be all right. Don't know any more than that. Don't need to either, right? It's like in stocks. My grandpa, man, he did well in stocks. He was a fisherman, never graduated high school. And he would pick things out based on companies he thought were going to last. He'd pick things out like a Costco. Like, yeah, Costco's going to be here in 10 years. I think it still is. When you go to Costco, it's generally busy, at least in my part of the world. Costco is busy in my part of the world. They're selling food, they're selling items. Man, go before a holiday. Costco's packed. As more little shops close, I don't think Costco's are closing. I could be wrong. I'm not looking at the data. But so that's what I'm getting at here is that the Green Candle Boys are a group of optimists. All right. And I released this silly NFT There's one of them. It's available for 5 XRP. And I'm not beefing if this just doesn't sell at all. What matters is that I'm here having fun, and I appreciate you all being here with me. I don't want anyone to get hurt over the things I say. I have the opinions of one man. I've been in crypto for 7 years, and I've done pretty good. You know, I worked these jobs that paid 15, 20 bucks an hour. At one point I made 11 bucks an hour. I lived in Idaho. I made 11 bucks an hour. And the hopium of crypto, the hopium of XRP kept me in the hunt. Now I'm running nodes for the likes of Gala Games, Helium, Deep Network, Metaflora, Magneto HR, Osmi AI. It's a good life. I look back on where I started and where I am, and I see growth. Am I where I want to be? No. Do I have the amount of monthly income I want to have with my 9 to 5 and my passive income? No. When I look at my bank account, am I satisfied? I'm not, okay? Because most of my money is in crypto. And when you're in crypto, you're a sketched out human being. You're like, shit, dude, am I going to go to nothing? Should I cash out? Did I miss the bull run? Is the alt run coming? It never ends. It never ends. And I treat this channel almost like crypto therapy for me. I make this joke about the YouTube channel and why I started it. I would call folks like my dad and my friends, and I would talk their ear off about XRP and about the YouTube videos that I'd watched and everything that I had been reading. Stuff like Smoke Dog's documents, stuff like the Digital Asset Investor, all the research he would put out there, Blockchain Backers TA, Kevin Cage's sentiment, all this stuff, man. All right, I would call people and I would bother them with my freaking shit I had to get off my chest with my hopium because it was keeping me going. All right, I would tell my coworkers at work. I'd tell you guys not to tell your coworker. I was out here telling a few, the people that I trusted. I turned coworkers into friends sometimes, right? And most coworkers are just that. And at the end of the day, friends become convenience a lot of the times too. People who are around to talk to you in that moment. You know, school friends are there when you're in school, or neighborhood friends are there when you're in the neighborhood, right? But as time goes on, people drift towards what's convenient in that moment or towards who they want to be. I saw something the other day that said somebody liked to believe that when they lost a friend, or not even lost them, but just didn't talk to them as much, it was because their vibration was such that that person was no longer in their plane. They were no longer on their vibrational plane, and so they just weren't around to hang out with anymore. Yeah, I thought that was some bullshit. So there's a hack going around in crypto, and if you got any sort of browser extension, you got to make sure that your shit's not infected. I made sure that mine wasn't. I use Brave browser, but Brave is an overlap of Chrome. I would make sure your shit's not infected. Pretty easy. You just go to your extensions, you turn on developer mode, you make sure your address for your browser wallet matches the correct one and that it hasn't been overtaken by this hack. It would suck to get your shit lost right before this bull run. I've always been sketched out by MetaMask, man. I always have. And I went through the other day actually, and I checked and made sure that all my permissions on MetaMask were as they should be. And this isn't a thing with the Zaman wallet. The Zaman wallet did a great job. Or maybe it's the Jamin wallet. Huh? Weist Wind? Did you name it after in some sort of Jamaican accent? I get the sense you're in Amsterdam smoking some ganj, my friend. You're a genius developer. And the most genius developers are on LSD and on these mind-bending drugs, okay? They gotta be to envision the shit they can envision. So thank you for the people who are developing shit. I'm out here making little NFTs and talking shit on the internet to you guys about my hypotheticals and my conspiracies. I went straight from talking about steel beams to talking about XRP. And there was some overlap in there where I was talking about Bitcoin, and I had friends who were doing the Silk Road in high school, and it was a dark road, man. I had friends who were doing that shit, and they were selling Xanax to one another. They were. And I never touched that shit, okay? Because my family has problems, and I was told my whole life, you stay away from it. If you know what's good for you, you stay away from it. And I didn't know what was good for me for a lot of shit, but in terms of that, I knew what was good for me. That my life was best spent away from drugs and alcohol. And in any sense, it had a sad ending, man. I had a buddy who lost his life, dude. Veterans Day 2015. That's some fucked up shit, all right? Veterans Day 2015, my friend lost his life. He was a young man. He hadn't even reached 21 yet. And he had a Xanax withdrawal. He had been drinking, and he had been taking Xanax, and when there wasn't Xanax anymore, because the Silk Road had dried up, or there was a problem with the press in Canada, this dude had a withdrawal. He had a heart attack and he died. It's terrible stories, okay? This was my first introduction to Bitcoin back in the day, so there was some overlap. And at that point, I was still talking conspiracies. And rest in peace to my friend, man. I hope his family's doing okay. And I think about him all the time, and I still do. You know, you never forget the people that you know. I saw Bitbender say once, the older you get, you just know more dead people, okay? That's not to make light of any of this. It's really sad. All right. But here I am bringing him up. And when you're gone, you hope that people bring you up. You do. You know, this guy had a cousin looked just like him. And I think about that, man. I'm like, man, I wish I would see him around town or something and just get to say what's up to him. Because he looked just like him, man. You know, honestly. Cool cat. And I know if he was here, he'd be in here talking crypto with me, man. You know, we'd be out there hanging out talking crypto. And so the sands of time, they go fast. You got to watch the sands of time. And when you're involved in a crypto, if you're looking too close at the wall, you read a lot of FUD, you read a lot of people who are upset about the price action. You could get fudded out of a bag yourself. You could talk yourself into selling your bag and chasing a greener pasture elsewhere. The best thing you could do in the crypto market is to hold on for 5 to 10 years. And yeah, I see the point that people like Robert are making where they're saying, dude, you gotta sell at these certain price points. Of course, if your asset does really well, then fucking open your bag up and send some to an exchange and take some profit. But don't be somebody who's just jumping ship because of FUD you're reading on the internet, because somebody's sitting too close to the wall and they don't have patience. You gotta sit on your hands. Time moves fast and you gotta make the most of every day. Every decision matters. I'm a believer in that shit. I've been watching that Invictus channel. Every decision matters. That butterfly effect is real. What you do right now, that dollar cost averaging is gonna add up. It doesn't seem like much on day one when you're just putting $10 in. Come on, you do that for 30 days, that's $300. You do that 12 months of the year, that's $3,600. You could do that times 5, that's 20 grand, all right? You put 20 grand into crypto over 5 years, your life could change. Not if you chase a fart coin or if you chase weird NFTs. There's nothing promised with this NFT, okay? I don't know what the club's gonna get you in. Like I said, you're in the club just for watching this video. But I made this because I thought it was cool. And maybe it'll take life. Maybe it'll have a life of its own. Maybe it'll end up having some sort of token involved with it, and we'll go to XP Market and we'll make some sort of liquidity pool with the token. And I couldn't even tell you, okay? I literally couldn't tell you because I'm not that far yet. I just do shit as I'm fucking doing it. And I try to do it as fast as I can. I do shit as I talk about it. That's how I like to do it. I don't really like to let shit fester. And it either flies or it doesn't. The way I see it is you put things out into the ether and it's like a plastic bag in the wind. It's either gonna get picked up or it's gonna fall and, you know, end up as garbage that needs to be cleaned up eventually. Somebody was saying about all the useless NFTs in their Gala wallet and how they wish they could just delete them. Even if there was a fee, they would love to just clean up their Gala wallet. I felt that, you know, because you want things to be nice and tidy with your crypto wallet. So you don't want to open it and see a million tokens. I like to press do not include my assets that are 0. So it only shows me what I own, right? There's so much garbage in crypto. And I forgot where I was. That's the thing about the stream of consciousness recordings. I don't have notes when I come out and do this, all right? I don't have notes. I'm talking about crypto from where I'm at with it. I pretty much sit and look at the markets all day. I sit and look at Twitter all day. I'm keyed in. I've been here for 7 years, all right? And I remember how I got in. I had a coworker at one of these shit jobs and he escaped. He did. Him and his whole church had invested in Bitcoin at an undisclosed price years prior, probably when me and my buddies were in high school and they were buying shit on the Silk Road. And the deal with the people who were buying on the Silk Road was they weren't thinking about Bitcoin in terms of price action. They were thinking about it in terms of buying shit. And so even when there was a price jump, apparently the people who were selling shit on the Silk Road were not even responding to that price jump. They were like, no, it was priced for this much, just send me this much. Dude, and I had friends that had to buy Bitcoin on local Bitcoin. They were like going into banks and doing wire transfers to send somebody money who was a real person who would then send them Bitcoin, right? These people could have been rich if they were just holding Bitcoin. And I think that's the story there, is like, you just stack some away. So playing NFTs, I think that it's good for that purpose of getting you in the game. Put your damn foot in the door, buy enough crypto so that way you could buy a stupid NFT and then move on from there. Whatever token you're using to buy that NFT, it's obviously valuable enough for you to go there and use the ecosystem. Hold the crypto. The NFT is gonna end up being whatever, honestly. There's always gonna be buyer's remorse with NFTs. And anytime you put money into crypto, you should think of it as loss, kinda, right? It is kinda like gambling in a sense. But if you do it right, you will be able to take money out. And you know, you shouldn't be listening to a gambler talking about doing gambling right. I've been compared to a riverboat gambler. Now, if you don't know about the riverboat gamblers, look them up. I've lived that life, man, and it's not for me. I had to exit. I didn't respect the fact that gambling was very similar to drugs and alcohol. And I don't know why we say drugs and alcohol. It should just be drugs. Alcohol is a drug. Gambling's a drug too. I didn't respect that. And so at college, I had a bunch of people who were like talking about sports gambling all the time. The first 6 months I said, this is dumb. And then I tried it. And then I got really into it, really addicted. And then, you know, it carries on from there, man, right? It's a slippery slope. You never win when you're gambling. I've only ever lost. And it's this weird hopium idea too, that you're gonna get your money back that keeps you going. Eventually you lose enough where you're like, dude, I never wanna do this again because I'm a loser. I don't like feeling like a loser. I like feeling like a winner. How do you feel like a winner? You buy assets that are gonna be here for 5 to 10 years and you hold on and wait to see their price appreciation. You buy low and you sell high. You look at an Algorand, sitting at a great spot to buy. You look at an XRP. I think it's sitting at a great spot to buy if you're looking at a 5 to 10 year time frame. Obviously it would have been great to buy 6 months ago, or freaking any time before that for the last 5 years. But you can't kick yourself, okay? Because when you're playing the game of kicking yourself, then you're already losing. You have to play the game of there's more money to be made on the table. You have darts in your hand and you're playing the game of which asset's gonna hit. There's balloons on the wall full of money. Let's fucking pop them. So here I am, right? I'm the perma bull. I'm not the bearable bull. I'm the perma bull. I go by the Shimigami. That Twitter account was created to just shitpost. Honestly, I wasn't gonna pay for Twitter. I was the Shimigami. I was just shitposting as an anonymous person. That's fine, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But then I eventually created this channel and I wanted my voice to get out more, so I paid for Twitter, which gave me access to Grok 3. And I think Grok 3 is great. I think it's better than the upgraded version of ChatGPT. Tell me if I'm wrong. I was paying 20 bucks a month for ChatGPT once. It was helping me with whatever I was needing help with. I thought it was good, but you know, I think Grok 3 is fine too, and it comes with premium Twitter, so that's good. I use Osmi AI. I feel like it's always a step behind ChatGPT and Grok 3, and that's fine too. It's on its way up, okay? AI is just a fucking market that's on the cusp of exponential growth potential with AI, because you got the computers that can fucking turn it on themselves. Once you get the computers exponentially learning, shit's gonna be insane. Right now, I have this problem with AI where it feels like every time you log in, you're talking to a different customer service rep. You kind of have to retrain it to whatever you want to do and like refresh its memory. You know, literally, it's almost like you just got handed off to somebody. They're like, hey, let me reconnect you. And you get reconnected to somebody else. Man, maybe that's the agents they're talking about training. I don't really look into it that deep. I have friends who are really into it, and I enjoy using it. I use it as a Google search in a sense. I still use Google. What's going to happen to Google? If you're really into the Google Authenticator, if you're really into Gmail, what's going to happen? You know, I hope that they stay solvent. I mean, your crypto account shouldn't be connected to your Gmail, to be honest. Then you're just one hack away. They should be on hardware wallets. They should be on hot wallets. They should be on paper wallets. They shouldn't be on exchanges, all right? Now, if you have a hot wallet that's on an offline device, I think that's pretty good, okay? Nothing is perfect. You know, I bought a Ledger before, and I still get scam emails that say my address. They say they're from Ledger support, and they have my name. So that makes me upset. You know, if somebody has your name, they could look you up and find your address pretty easy. And so I talk about on this channel how you need to be your own bank when you're in crypto. What does that mean? Oh, you're your own bank. Yeah, you need to have tellers. You need to have bankers. No, don't be a dimwit. You need to have an armed guard outside, okay? That's all it is. You need to be vigilant, like that armed guard would be. If you were paying an armed guard to watch your funds, you would want him to be vigilant. You know, we've had an awakening from folks like Antonio Brown, and you can't tell if they're just trolling for likes or whatever, but every now and again it'll shine through. He'll say something like, you don't want to be drunk in public. It's actually not what you want to be. Or he'll say something like, sex is an act that we've degraded, but it's actually the way that you get the closest to somebody. You're like, wow, Antonio Brown, man, this guy's a modern day philosopher, you know, like we just can't see through his modern CTE lens. We don't know what he's been through, okay? This dude took a lot of hits for money, and, you know, he lost a bunch of money. That's the hero's journey. You go up and you go down, okay? Who are we if we haven't experienced great highs and great lows? It's like that great video from Frank Mir.
I hate to say this because people are gonna be insulted by it, but the guy who's never been tempted, who's only been married to one woman, or like, you know, it's like, I'm not impressed by you, man. Like, I'm not. Like, you went on your mission afterwards. You've been surrounded by good people. Like, did you ever have that scumbag friend that led you astray? Did you go? No, I'm all, good for you, you know what I mean? But like, you haven't been tested, you know what I mean? We don't really know, you know what I mean? Like, it's like going, oh, I'm a tough guy. I'm like, oh, okay, have you been in combat? Well, no. I'm like, so you never had bullets fired at you? No. I'm not really thinking you're that much of a soldier, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, you could go, but I mean, if you've never been in a gunfight, what do you really know? Like, there's something, like, if you've never been in a fist fight, do I really know what you're made out of? You know what I mean? Like, have you ever been, you know, I always tell people, like, when guys tell me I've never been broken, I never quit, I'm like, oh, you've never been pushed hard enough.
Yeah.
There's no way, because I know some of the toughest people in the world. I've hung out with guys that are tier 1 Navy SEAL, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and guess what? All of them have a story of breaking, you know?
And I agree with Frank Mir. I think that was a badass video. I mean, I respect these warriors a whole lot, man. Anybody who's getting in that ring, I got a whole lot of respect for them. So what does this have to do with crypto? Crypto's a battlefield, and you have to be a warrior to be out here playing it. All right, this isn't for everybody. Stocks, the market, it's not for everybody. You have to be some sort of degen. And when I was at ETH Denver, they were saying, no, it's not the degens, friend. It's the regens. Because we fucking died and came back to life. They didn't say that. I'm making shit up. Potentially what I do best is just make shit up. I'm a total shit talker. I was salesman of the year at a Fortune 500 company. For 1 quarter back in 2018, I was at the retail front of this Fortune 500 company. It was in the telecommunication business. And that's why I saw value in Helium. Helium was going after the telecommunication business. And I was like, man, you know, I used to see value in the Dent network too. I got out of the Dent network. I used to be playing a lot of tokens. You end up cutting down on the amount of tokens you're playing so you can put more into the bags you are playing. If you believe in something, go long, all right? I don't really like playing shit on the wall. I think I'm in about 10 assets right now. Man, if it's more than 10, maybe I need to take a look at myself. I'm in a few node projects. I think I listed off like 5 or 6 node projects at the beginning. So yeah, I must be in more than 10. But it's not much more. And you know, if I was to do a pie chart, the majority of my bag is in XRP because that's what I feel really strongly about. And it's what I've been in the longest. And to get out of a token is kind of a pain in the ass. So I like to use my 9-to-5 funds to buy tokens. Just use your 9-to-5 funds to buy tokens. Don't be chasing green candles and jumping ship. Believe in something, okay? It's Zach with Web3 Reviews. I call myself the Shimigami. I'm a part of the Green Candle Boys. If you're here listening, you are too. Thank you for being with us.